If there's one thing that most fishermen have in common, it's that you get maybe one day a week to get out on the water, and you have to make the best of it regardless of conditions. For this day, I had intended to go fishing up in New Jersey, New York area, but the weather was just terrible. So hooked up with my friend Randy, we headed south down into the Chesapeake Bay, and we wanted to see if we could get on some fish. And we did.
There's my first perch.
So Randy's a couple hours behind me, so I just figure I'm gonna get out and just stick close to the launch area and just hit these perch and just try to figure out, is there any key to finding them, and are they gonna be in the normal spots that I would think? And it turns out that they are.
We get it back behind this little tiny point right in there in the still water. Gonna want to get on something bigger, maybe a little bit, but while I'm waiting for Randy, I may as well get my fill of these guys, right? It's the same as the other spot. It's really shallow, 4 feet, right around a point. Seeing if anything's setting up behind it. Got the wind in my face. Nice little guys.
Now, for those that have seen my other videos, these are really small fish compared to what I normally target. So I have a little bit heavier gear. I should have brought some freshwater stuff, but quite frankly, I almost never fish freshwater, and I needed to put new line on, didn't have any sufficiently sized braid to put onto the reel, so I just decided to go with some light flounder gear, and it seems to be working. But I pick my way through this for a while. I catch a lot, catch well over a dozen of these real small guys, and now I'm starting to get the call from Randy that he's now at the launch and he's going to start working his way towards me. So I catch a few more, turn around, and I head back up and meet up with Randy. As I'm heading back up to meet Randy, who's now in the water and working his way down towards me, I decide I'm going to throw a paddle tail in the water and see if I can pick up some striped bass. They're down here in huge numbers, really small size, schoolie and smaller, and that's what I end up hooking up here. So first one of the day, second species. On the light tackle, it is a lot of fun. Caught that on that little jig that I was using for the perch, just kind of trolling it, and it goes right back in. And going to be looking for stuff that's a little bit bigger through the rest of the day.
I'm no longer all alone.
So now that Randy's here joining me, I wanted to share the on the water audio of our discussion. He's been here, he's fished this area before, but the wind noise is just terrible. So I'm just going to give you an idea.
Yeah.
What he's doing is he's pointing out a couple of wind protected points that he had fished in the past that he thinks would hold some striped bass and maybe some speckled trout. So we're going to work our way down there, but on the way, still trolling that paddle tail, I hook into something nice.
It's not big. Oh my God, look at this. Look at this. Spanish.
So for full disclosure, we were told by local bait shops and anglers that there weren't going to be any Spanish up here. It was mainly just going to be perch and tiny striped bass. They said don't bother targeting the specks or the reds. Never mentioned Spanish, but we're really far from an inlet, like really far. So very happy to pull this one in. It's a nice fish and surprise catch of the day. Now we've reached the one wind protected point that Randy had been talking about on the paddle down, and you can see the change in the water. I mean, it's like glass here. It's just totally protected. Got a nice current coming around the corner, so we're gonna come in here and see if we can pick up, you know, more perch, but also some striped bass and maybe some speckled trout.
Right there. Right there. Right at the boat. Oh, see ya. Another small striper.
So yeah, these are really small striped bass, really small perch, but you know, today was just about finding some water that we could get out on so that we could get some tight lines, have some fun, check out a newer area, brand new to me. So small stripers, but man, a lot of fun, and there's still more to come. Better fish as well. At this point in the day, I want to try to get through the perch, stop catching as many perch. I've already caught a couple dozen throughout the day. And I want to see if I can get any of the bigger striper or speckled trout that I believe are in the area. And in this case, I'm going to end up hooking into another striped bass. But there's more to come right after this. You're going to see the best fish of the day for me. And here it is. I'm still working that paddle tail. I'm working a depth change from about 3 to 6 feet with that paddle tail on that wind protected point, and I hook into a decent fish right here.
Speckled trout.
Now, nobody's going to call it a gator trout at all. It's 15 3/4. It's really fat and heavy though. But it was a fish that I wanted to target. Very happy to hook into one and land one, and making fish tacos out of that tonight. It was a great day of fishing. Can't show all the fish. I caught several dozen fish throughout the day. But now that you've seen this, check out, popping up on the screen is a playlist that I think will interest you. I also have popping up there a video on catching speckled trout that I made down in Outer Banks, North Carolina this year. Hope to see you in the next video. Thanks.